Hello, this is Mary from the Harboring Light. I simply give a conservative perspective about the world around me. As I like to do in the beginning of the podcast, I give you all the social media information and the platform I'm currently on and growing on. Now, I decided to let my blue check mark go on Twitter. So you want to get in contact me, message me in 3 ways. So either on Twitter, Minds, or Gmail. And that's the harboring light at gmail.com, and I will insert that along with all the reading sources and information for the podcast and the link below and all those links. So the particular podcast for the topic today will be modern refrigeration, the history behind it, and how we knew and grow about modern refrigeration. So let's talk about this. Okay, refrigeration. Ancient refrigeration, let's start with that. Ancient civilizations preserved food using natural cooking methods available to them. People took advantage of rivers and lakes by storing food directly in the cold water or cutting ice for ice houses, things of that nature. Now pits, and they also used pits in the ground, and they filled it with snow, ice, sawdust, insulated material, straw, things they could find. Now, the concept of refrigeration is hard to say who started this and how it went about, but the majority of people gather, and researchers gather, that it comes from China around 1000 BC. And many societies, including the Greeks, Romans, and Hebrews, they also had more up-to-date practices as far as using materials as far as refrigeration methods go. Now, all of this is, again, as I'm going to link all my reading sources and all my source material in this podcast. So all of this is according to the Martha Stewart article that I'm referring to. Now, let's turn the segment to the 18th century, because that's when it started to become even more updated as far as modern refrigeration goes. So in the 18th century, Europeans collected ice in the winter, and they started the method of salting and wrapping and storing it underground. And they would store it for months. Now, ice was even shipped to other locations around the world. So when ice wasn't available or for people to cool them, that's the method they would use. And they also started the method of wooden boxes, as far as refrigeration goes. And they would use installation methods as far as sawdust again, and cork dust, and then seaweed to fill everything up. So let's move to the part of early refrigeration and people trying to meld that into what we know today as modern refrigerators. Now, William Cullen at the University of Glasgow, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly, in 1748, he started the innovation as far as refrigeration purposes and practices went about. Now, in 1805, an American inventor, Oliver Evans, designed a blueprint as far as that goes for the first refrigeration machine. But it wasn't until 1834 that the first practices as far as refrigeration started going about, creating the cool temperature using vapor compression cycles, things of that nature to make it more streamlined and more compact as far as refrigeration goes. Now, about 10 years down the line, an American physician named John Gorey built a refrigerator based on Oliver Evans' design. Now, Gorey used the device to cool the air for his yellow patent designs, and in 1876, German engineer Carl von Linden patented a process of liquefying gas that has become part of the basic refrigeration technique as far as the technology of modern refrigeration. Now, improved refrigeration designs were later patented by inventors by the name of Thomas Elvins and John Standard. Now, modern refrigeration. Let's get into that part. Refrigerators from the late 1800s until 1929 used toxic gases such as ammonia, chloride, sulfide dioxide, things of that nature as far as refrigerators are concerned. Now, in response, 3 American corporations launched research in order to develop less dangerous methods of refrigeration, which led to the discovery of Freon. And just a few years later, compressor refrigerators, they were using Freon. This would become the standard for almost all home kitchens. And so only decades later would people realize that this is still a dangerous method as far as the ozone layer. Is not really healthy for the ozone layer as far as things of that nature. But that's a beast in itself, and there's a whole nother story within itself. And it's a whole lot of school of thought of that, and there's a whole lot of different ideas about that, of how to improve the ozone layer, what humans impact as far as putting their carbon footprint on the earth, everything that goes along with it. Now, as of 2018, compressor refrigerators were still the most common thought as far as countries would use as far as refrigeration practices. And some machines now use alternative refrigeration, as far as HFO, chemistry involved sort of refrigeration practices. And then it's even they use acoustic energy, magnetic energy, things of that nature. Now, my thoughts as far as modern refrigeration. I think it's great what the human spirit can do, and what creative methods and what creative spirits can form as far as determination in the human spirit and when it's motivated. Now, this helps to shape for a better tomorrow, and it helps form more structure instead of chaos and destruction. Now, this is definitely a big food of thought for as far as when we consider modern refrigeration. As I mentioned earlier, let me list all the audio platforms that I'm currently on. I am on iHeartRadio. I am on Amazon Music. I am on Audible. I am on Overcast. I am on Spotify for podcasters and Anchor. And I'm looking to grow to the point to where wherever you hear audio podcasts, I'm on that. Thank you so much for listening to the Harboring Light. This is the end point of it. So next time, let's tune in and turn up. Thank you. Take care.